I'm here with head football coach at the University of Rochester, Martinovich, and just going to be asking him a few questions about the recruiting process. First one, if I'm a high school football player, what should I be doing now to best prepare myself for college football?
The first thing we recommend to especially young high school players is to make sure they're doing the work needed in school academically to put themselves in a position to be recruited. So that means striving for A's and B's in all their classes, taking challenging coursework within their high school curriculum. The better you do academically, the more doors are open to you at the college level. And then from a football standpoint, it's trying to improve on fundamentals on a daily and yearly basis, working hard in a strength and conditioning program. And me personally, I like three-sport athletes. I like young men that play multiple sports throughout their high school career. I don't think it's a great idea to specialize right away. Maybe that opinion varies from coach to coach or sport to sport, but I think showing versatility in the sports kids play, especially in their younger years of high school, shows us as college coaches a lot about what they can do athletically at the college level.
What is one thing you would tell a player that's looking to get on your radar?
Reach out in a variety of ways. So we work a variety of prospect camps every summer. So make sure you're letting yourself be seen. Most colleges like ours have a recruiting questionnaire on their website, so you want to go on the university that you're interested in. So if you're interested in the U of R, go on our website, fill out a recruiting questionnaire. That gets you in our recruiting database. Then you start receiving emails from us as a staff and send film, send transcripts, and test scores once you have them, so we can evaluate you academically as well as athletically.
If I'm a player from like a more remote area and maybe can't attend the prospect camp,
Film, and again, we have to look at the academic side of things too. So I'd rather have a prospect send us too much information than not enough. And we prefer to hear directly from the athlete as opposed to hearing from their parents on a regular basis. It tells us a lot about that young man's kind of personality. We get to know him as a person because he's the one initiating conversations as opposed to their parents. We do get the family and the parents involved so we can see what kind of background a young man is coming from, but we want to see a young man that can be independent and can speak for himself throughout the process.
In terms of film, what are you looking for when a player sends out film?
We want a large enough sample size where we can see who they are athletically. A lot of high school football players may be playing out of position compared to where they're going to be playing in college. But we like to see a highlight film as long as you shows you doing a variety of things athletically and shows your strengths. If you're not able to get a highlight film made, then we want to see full games. I'd like to see at least a 3-game sample of a young man to see where he's at athletically and how he might fit into our different schemes.
How important would the competition level of those games be?
You obviously see a lot more from a young man that's going against great competition, but the competition, is a lesser variable than just being able to see them move and show what they can do athletically. Whether they're offensive and defensive lineman or a skilled position player, seeing them move around, seeing them do a variety of things athletically shows us, what their skill sets are and how they may translate to what we do offensively and defensively.
Is there anything specifically you look for in a player when you're recruiting them, either in person or on tape?
Character, leadership ability, competitive drive, someone who really enjoys playing football, and you know, because when you add in the academic side of things, when you get to play at U of R or at the college level, and now it becomes a balancing act where you need to be able to handle things academically and all the rigors of being a college football player. And if you're not passionate about the sport, then it becomes tough to excel in both areas. So we want someone that really strives to excel in everything they do, that family is important to them, that team is important to them. They're great teammates, great leaders, and great people in general.
What would you tell a player that might be frustrated because he feels like he should be getting recruited at a higher level than he is?
I think you have to, if you feel that you should be playing at a certain level, you have to prove that by what you do on the field. And but I think there's not a lot of drop off from one level to the other, and you know, football is a sport that does have an expiration date, so you should be looking for a great opportunity academically that will afford you the opportunity to play another 4 years of football. You know, only 5% of all high school football players go on to play at the college level. Less than 1% go on to play in the NFL. So you're very, very lucky as a high school football player to go and play at any level of college. And then the thought process should be, I want to pick the best place for me academically that will set me up for the next 40 years of my life and be able to play a competitive level of football at the same time.
When you're recruiting someone, do you look through their social media accounts? And if you do, how important is that?
Yes, we do. And that factors into the character aspect. So young men should always think before they hit send, as Herm Edwards used to say. You know, you got to be careful what you put out there in this day and age. We have dropped young men from our recruiting process for how they're representing themselves and their family and their high school football programs on social media. So that's definitely something that factors in for us.
What is the most bizarre way you've had a player commit to play for you?
A bizarre way that a player is committed?
Or just got a player in general?
Wow, that's a good question. I can't think of any bizarre
or like unique.
Well, recruiting is really about relationship building. So there's been some young men where I met them at a camp when they were going into their freshman year, not knowing that by the time they were going into their senior year, I would actually be recruiting them, but remember our interaction when they were younger and would have, you know, whether it be great work ethic but they stood out to me. So when I saw them when they were older, I remembered them and that connection, and that went a long way for me being excited about them, but also them knowing me and the type of program that we were running, and you know, might have pushed us to the top of their wish list too. So I just appreciate all the relationships that have been built over the years and from a recruiting standpoint, because that's really a big part of recruiting is building relationships and understanding whether someone's a fit for your program, but also from the recruit side of things, whether a place in a program is a fit for them. So that's something they have to decide.
Yeah. Last question. Do you have any crazy stories involving parents of a player that you were recruiting?
Yeah, there's several. I'm trying to think of what I'd like to share on camera. We've had, over the years, plenty of parents that act like their sons' agents, and they're constantly contacting us either via email or telephone, updating us on their son's last game and all his stats and everything else. And a lot of those cases, I don't get to talk to their son very much, and that hurts them in terms of where they are on our list. If I'm hearing from mom and dad more than I'm hearing from the son, we tend to question how much the actual recruit thinks of us in terms of where we are on their list, and is it more mom and dad that want them to come here. So that's why I said earlier on, it's great when a recruit speaks for himself. You know, we want to get to know mom and dad or the parents or guardians that are involved in the process, and we want them to be comfortable understanding what our program is all about, what our university is all about. But you know, we need to see who we're going to be coaching, not the parents of who we're going to be coaching throughout the process.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.